uploaded video for you guys to give you guys some information on how to obtain and use transmutation crystals. Right now, I'm standing inside of our beautiful guild hall for the Honey Hive traders. And at this time, I'd like to take time to give a shout out. Sorry, had to have my coffee. To 3 more subscribers. I want to thank each and every one of you guys, first and foremost, for subscribing to the channel. George Mendoza, thank you for subscribing. Gamer Who, thank you for subscribing. And Type D, thank you for subscribing. If you want your name shouted out on the video, all you have to do is like and subscribe to this video, and you could be featured in one of our next videos in the future. Um, like, share, subscribe. That's all I can ask for. Comment below what you would like to see in the future. It definitely helps out the channel, so we can help out as many people that play Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited Edition. Very much appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. I have been requested to do an uploaded video for Transmutation Geodes on how to get the crystals so you guys can transmute your gear. I will go through every detail in regards to how to get the transmutation crystals, where to get them from, how much you'll end up usually getting, as well as how to use them and where to use them. First and foremost, you can end up getting the transmutation geodes from farming inside of battlegrounds. You can go into CP, non-CP battlegrounds, either which or what you are more comfortable with. You can also obtain them from going inside of Cyrodiil and Imperial City. So there's 4 different ways that you can end up getting them to be able to farm them. Transmutation geodes give you transmutation crystals. These crystals, inside of your currency section, you can end up holding on to up to 200 of the actual crystals themselves. That is not including the geodes. The transmutation geodes can end up being held inside of your inventory for however long you want to hold them for, until you end up clearing up. I have a couple of my guild members that actually hold on to a whole bunch of them because they're always capped at that 200 for the transmutation geodes because they love going to PvP. I myself, I don't go into PvP too often, but there are many different ways that I know of how to farm the transmutation geodes. When you open the geodes, they automatically go into your transmutation crystals area. If you are maxed out, you will not be able to put any more in there until you use some of those. The geodes end up getting sent to you by a reward in your mail for getting to certain levels of AP that you receive during your gameplay in PvP. If you don't know how to go inside of Battlegrounds, you go right here into your inventory, or not into your inventory, but you hit your options button, you come down here to campaigns, you can go into Cyrodiil, you can go into Imperial City, either which way here, and then you go into your activity finder for Battlegrounds. Now, Battlegrounds has random ones that you can end up going into, or they have specific ones. Deathmatch is for you to go in there, which is non-CP. Deathmatch only gets you up to level 50, so your CP is not useful in this one. You can end up getting a team together and queuing up to be able to go inside of Battlegrounds, or you can end up queuing up yourself to go into here. This one right here is flag games. Same thing. This is non-champion, so you won't have to worry about it. Land grab, same thing. These are non-champion ones. They do have the same thing for champion level players. I am over CP 1000 champion level, so I like to go inside of the CP leveled ones because then this way all of my allotted points for my champion points can end up being useful. But you can end up going in and queuing up for any one of those to be able to get in there to obtain these geodes. The geodes, again, you would just open them up. and the crystals automatically get counted towards what you have. No, they are not something that stays inside of your inventory unless you have an unopened geode. A lot of people leave them inside of their mailbox until they get room inside of their inventory, because a lot of people don't have their max inventory space, which is 205 inventory slots available. So I'm going to now show you guys how to use these transmutation geodes. I do only have 49 transmutation geodes because I don't farm for these geodes at this time, but I will walk you guys through on how to use them. First and foremost, the transmutation station is this big round globe looking thing. It came from Clockwork City. You can purchase one of these via the RIT voucher vendor, which is 1,250 vouchers, or you can end up using crowns to purchase it, which I believe it's 4,500 crowns to purchase this piece of furnishing that is very useful. I get a lot of my guild members from the Honey Hive coming here using the transportation station because it's easy access. So yes, they can be placed inside your home. Yes, they can be used. No, you do not need to have the Clockwork City DLC to use this. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys how to use it. Now, in order to be able to transmute anything, you first and foremost have to make sure that you have the trait that you want to change your weapon from, or your armor from, or your jewelry from. You want to make sure that you have it researched already. If you do not have it researched, you will not be able to transmute it to whatever you are trying to transmute it to. As an example, if you're trying to transmute a dagger from sharpened to Nirnhorn, but you don't have the Nirn researched, you're not going to be able to transmute it. You're not going to be able to give it to a buddy or a guildie or anybody for them to transmute it and for them to give it back to you. It then binds it to your account. So once you transmute it, yes, you will end up being able to transfer it from one player to the next in your own character inventory. But as far as anybody else, you can't. It becomes completely bound. So make sure that you have the research done. Research does take time. I will end up showing you guys fastest ways to be able to go through and research, especially with Bethesda and ZOS. They have been giving us research scrolls. I know a lot of people complain about the daily rewards that we get. It's free rewards. That's the way I look at it. It's very helpful when they give you research scrolls, whether it's a day, 2 days. They give costumes. They give, sometimes they give the transmutation geodes out during the reward days. So just make sure that you collect your daily rewards so you could be able to get the most amount of items from there. Some of them are very useful. I know a lot of people use the poisons and stuff that they give through there in order to go inside of PvP and use those as well instead of craftable ones. Whatever works for you. But if you have it researched, we're going to click on here on the 7th Legion's dagger just because it's there. If we wanted to transmute it from sharpened to Nirnhorn, again, you'd have to make sure that you have the Nirnhorn trait researched. This will end up giving you the list here on the left of what you can transmute it to. So I do have a 9 trait Grandmaster Crafter. This is what my Brighton High Elf is. She does have everything researched, so everything will be open and available for me to transmute to. So if you were to click on Nirnhorn, it would then verify that you want to transmute from the sharpened to the Nirnhorn. As you can see in the lower left hand corner of the screen, it says 50 crystals. Again, I only have 49, so I won't be able to transmute. If you accidentally transmute an item, it cannot be undone. So be very, very careful on which items you are transmuting and what you want to end up using. It does end up bringing up the list of what's inside of your bank and your storage coffers. So if you have an item that you want to make sure that you're transmuting, just make sure that you have knowledge of exactly which one it is. You would just click on it and it would automatically transmute it. As you see, there is a little transmute sign next to the Nirnhorn one. on the right. This way it'll show you that it's been transmuted, that it was not its original trait, but it's now going to be transmuted. A lot of different, you could do this with the gear, you could do this with weapons and jewelry. Again, just make sure that you have everything researched. Research times take a lot. Your final item is going to end up being 29 days, I believe. 29 days or 26 days, one of the two. But it takes a little while. So my suggestion, a lot of people want to transmute their items to Nirnhorn, infused, some of them defending, some of them well fitted. I always wanted to make sure. I made the mistake of researching Nirnhorn, but on another character, I started the Nirnhorn research first, um, because that was something I learned along the way. So research Nirnhorn first, if you can. If you can purchase it from the store vendors. If you are on the PC or PS4 platform, NA server, I can end up doing research items for you. I do them very inexpensive if you are one of my guild members. I pretty much try to do them for as cheap as possible because I know what it's like to grind. This grind is real for these geodes. So when you end up getting these geodes and you end up using some of them, you can end up opening up the geodes and getting more transmutation crystals. You can end up changing, if you transmute a weapon and you have more geodes and you want to transmute it again to try something different, you can do that. So that's not something that you really have to worry about. But you would end up going through and making sure that you get the proper one for your build. One thing I try to tell people every time that I speak with them and give them build advice or anything like that is it all depends on your gameplay. Yes, there are meta builds out there. I am not an elitist. I always try to make sure that everybody enjoys their gameplay. You can go ahead and copy a build, but here's my thing. Your gameplay is not going to be exactly the same thing. So if somebody has a build that's pushing out 50 plus K damage and you end up copying that build and trying the rotation, you may only end up pushing out 40 something K rotation. With this MMO, it changes literally all the time. So make sure that you end up getting a build that is comfortable for you to play because everybody's playstyle is completely different. If you are out here and you're looking for something that's going to end up making you the best tank, the best healer, the best DPS, there are things that you can end up doing, but you want to make sure that when you transmute these items that you are getting the best that you can, for you. So with that, I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of my subscribers. Remember, after we get 1,000 subscribers, I'm giving away a PlayStation code for one of my lucky viewers. So comment below, let me know what you guys would like to see in the future videos, as well as like and subscribe and share this channel with your friends. The bigger the crowd, the better information I can end up giving out and helping more people, because that's what I like to do here at the Honey Hive. So without further ado, I'm HiveQueenBee, and I hope you guys have a beautiful end of the evening, and I will see you guys once again.